Okay, basically this is part three of Dark Side of Being Broke. Because, I mean, just in case I did if I didn't you know, get through to you the last time on the dark side of being broke. I wanna give you some more visual reminders. Up here you have, California, a tent city in California. And I gotta remind you of one of the beautiful things that I did was took Maslow's hierarchy of needs and pretty much correlated it to personal finance. Okay. Basically, a lot of it, I mean, as far as, the basic needs on up to the top needs as far as things or concerns, basically, the bottom needs is why, people are having issues. Okay. The bottom needs as far as your, you know, basically the food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep, breathing. Well, I'm gonna tell you, as a person that's been on the bottom and in the middle, in between, basically, when you're having issues with, trying to get some sleep, it's a very big difference between when you gotta face a deadline at your job, or even whatever whatever you have to face, whether it be contractual obligations to your job, or whatever the case may be. You have this pressure that you have over you, right? And that pressure is depending on how much financial leverage you have. Because let me give you some things as far as why this is a lot of most people will not have any problem. People understand. People know what's going on. They people are not. This is not no tinfoil hat type stuff. This is no conspiracy. Nothing. Just basic things that you see every day. I mean, when you going outside the door, you see somebody begging you for some change. Maybe you know there's people that's less fortunate. You reminded that as soon as you walk outside your house, depending on where you live. If you live in a big urban center, it's people that's less fortunate around you. Some people might live in a well-to-do area and it's not as noticeable. And I mean, depending on where you are, you are reminded definitely that there's people less fortunate. Even if you turn on it, you just have to turn on the news. They, are going to tell you about some situations where somebody that's less fortunate. I mean, gratefully, if you're able to help people, that's great. Okay. That's, one of the things about society. I definitely, have very much tenets about me that's very philanthropic. My Robin Hood challenge is my little small, thing that I do as far as if I make a profit now, I, try to give the profits to somebody that's in need. At least half of whatever profits I make, I put some money of mine to it and give to a person in need. The stock market has been very, very, very problematic. Let's just say, if you're not on the short side of the game. So I'm barely hanging on with my Robin Hood challenge. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on. You got the Suez Canal. that is a tanker that's actually not a tanker, but a ship that's just stuck, and they saying that's causing billions of dollars of loss a day. Uh, and a lot of times when there's billions of dollars, that adds up to even more because you got hidden costs, you got other costs and stuff like that, and as well as the environmental costs, you can't outweigh that as well. You got oil that the price of the pump is going up. I mean, the play with that is like basically if you got any kind of money, only you gotta be just downright, I don't know, slow to not just put a whole bunch of money, at least, I don't know, let's say you got $1 million. You gotta be slow as molasses to not put at least 10%, 100 grand down in an oil stock, get 100,000 shares and just hold it for at least 9 months or at least 12 months with it, whatever, with a stop loss, of course, right? You got to be slow. I mean, I'm definitely going to be, I can't wait to get back in the stock market and get back in and just go crazy. I mean, I'm talking about, when I say crazy, I'm talking about I got two swords and it's fucking flaming and I'm cutting, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like literally trying to, make up ground for when I didn't trade and learn, and all of the things that I learned, you know, just make up for that ground, as well as be able to position myself to be able to short, because you got to be able to short this market when you're able to, because is as many days as up days, is more down days probably than there are up days. Okay, so you got to be able to make money off the down tick is what separates, they say, the men from the boys. But anyway, I mean, when it comes to the dark side of being broke, some of the warnings that I have, more warnings, as I think of, many ways of why things are kind of difficult. You could just talk about family, your own flesh and blood. You know, I mean, how many situations where people get into it with their family, you know, because someone feels that they're short, they get the short end of the stick or whatever the case may be, or mistreated or some shit like that, whatever the case may be. Well, money kind of helps you get out of that situation. Now, don't get me wrong, money, a lot of times when you leave the nest and you're unprepared, you end up in this tent, right? People end up in this tent because why do people end up in this tent to the right here? The thing about it is a lot of young people, they underestimate how difficult life actually is. One of the things that I'll never forget is the fear that my grandparents have. Okay. The fear of what my grandparents have, I never will forget it. And by right, that fear, I understand that fear. Okay. A person, okay, a man that, came from a shack in Mississippi, no running water, no electricity, no refrigeration, no modern plumbing, severe poverty. They had food, they had livestock and you know, fresh eggs and all that type of stuff, but severe poverty, bone breaking, neck breaking, racism, bigotry, uh, all of the things that come from 1930 all the way to now, all of the news stories and events that happened, World War II, Vietnam, and Cuban, even people forget about the Cuban Missile Crisis, all this stuff, the depression, you know, my grandparents, man, they faced that, and I'll be honest with you, they faced quite a bit of things, man. They saw, quite a bit of things that I have not even seen. Okay, I remember, in the 80s, being just, I didn't go to no rally or nothing, but just driving my bike, walking various parts of the Midwest, I'll just say, being called a nigger, right, with the ER, not GA, but I don't be honest with you, I don't really think it would have made a difference if they took the ER off or whatever, but that was what I remember being called. And then I would say the I'll say early, I wouldn't even say early 90s. I'll say about the mid 90s. I stopped getting called the nigger on the street. I guess maybe I got older. I got taller. I was, it was, you know what I'm saying? And that might have had something to do with it. But yeah, I don't think it was just that. It was just more of just things start changing or whatever. Things started getting a little bit different. But I remember, riding my bike in Minnesota, and I have family in Minnesota. I used to go up there in the summers, and just, man, I'm just going, join the neighborhood, ride my bike just like I do back where I live, and basically being, called an N-word. Well, my grandparents, they got a little bit, I'm not even gonna say a little bit, they got quite a bit of more, problems than just, getting called the N-word. Okay. I remember, watching, or not even watching, but reading my grandmother, one of the good things that she does about keeping stuff too much, even though, I don't really like the whole concept of hoarding. I don't like, but those old news clippings from the 1950s that she would have, from whether it be the Chicago Sun-Times or the Chicago Tribune, I'll never forget those news clippings. Okay. Those news clippings told the tale. Okay. Classified ads of 1950, whatever the hell the classified ads were. Those classified ads were very interesting. Okay, because I was, 30 years before I was born, it was 1950. Okay. The classified ads read, no blacks. You can't, if you're black, literally don't even think about applying for this job. Okay, literally. Just 30 years before I was born, which is not that much time at all. No, don't apply. And then most of the jobs that I was looking for in that classified ad, that was like, maid, nanny, cook, whatever, those were what people were looking for at that time. And those were the jobs. So, the thing is that, like I say, this whole black people being able to flexibly, go here and go there and work and stuff like that. This is new. This is fairly new. That's why I pretty much white people are like going bonkers, because in their mind and in their, it's supposed to be, probably another 100 years of this, whatever bullying tactics they were able to use. They supposed to have another 100 years of this. Like, this becoming so quick to be able to, just, work and make money and all this type of stuff and go wherever you want to. That's why they like going crazy. They're like, God, and then people have to adjust to, okay, yeah, you can't just bully somebody and take their land. You can't just bully somebody and drive them off, all that type of stuff. Those tactics, yeah, it's not that easy. So yeah, but I mean, those are the things that I had to, think about when I thought about my grandparents' fear. And I didn't have those concerns, other than, yeah, the police definitely had, a lot of power. But then, I mean, I went to the military, being that I, went to the military. I'm like, one, I wasn't really concerned about the police prior to joining the military. I got family members that was, in the police force, 60s, onward. And it's like, when I got out the military, I definitely wasn't concerned about local police, because I joined the federal police, like the federal government. Okay, I'm joined the military. That trumps the any local police. Okay, even whatever you want to say. Okay, so I'm not delusional in my ranking of things, but I'm not necessarily fearful of law enforcement. Okay, but the things that people were able to get away with 50 years ago to 70 years ago, it's a reason why those concerns, or traumas, even, you can even say PTSD, is something that is relatable. I can understand and respect that, right? But the thing is that doesn't necessarily stop there, right? It's like, you got family members, and my family is no different. They, not necessarily, they might have not necessarily been all, um, inviting to you, trying to better yourself. Like, I know people that their family members were very, very much helpful in them becoming, winners in life, right? Well, my family wasn't necessarily like that, right? Like, it was certain members, like, it's all fragmented. Well, depending on the situation, you might, to just, in order to get a better situation personally to yourself, you're going to need to be able to do things that I'm going to be talking about today, as far as how to help you become, how to manage your money, and get a better situation. So you can come from this bottom tier, where you're literally poor, to going up to the middle, to even upper class. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of times people want things to be done fast. Okay, I get it. It doesn't work like that usually. And even if it did work like that, you probably would, it's something that you have to think about it. Like, if you don't have the proper understanding, the know-how, and you jump from, let's say you get a job that you make 20 grand, and then you ultimately get a job making 200 grand. That's a lot of pressure to handle. Okay. And depending on the type of job it is, it might be, it's a big fall from the top versus, going gradually up, right? Or getting, even 2 full-time jobs making 50K, then you get, there, like, it's a difference between that, and then okay, getting a job working, let's just say, as an assistant manager at McDonald's to all the way, up working in the corporate office as an executive at McDonald's. Now you can do it, and people have done it and done it, with hardly any problems. But that's a big jump. The biggest that's a lot of pressure to hold, above your head. Like, even my situation. I mean, I'll be lying to you if I told you I don't have somewhat level of pressure. Okay, from my roles. You know what I'm saying? I definitely would be lying to you. But when it comes to family, a lot of times you have to, like I say, you have to overcome your family, and it's going to take money to do that. And a lot of times, basically what I'm getting at is that it's people that actually, even your own family, that will try to jockey your position. Like, and what I mean by that is, if they see you coming up, they're gonna kind of try to hate on you a little bit. And that's when it comes to a situation where you got to save enough money so you can get your own residence. You know what I'm saying? That alone is one of the things where you should get yourself in a better situation, because you don't want to. One of the things I'll say is it kind of hurts a little bit when your family do you wrong, right? When other people do you wrong, it hurt too. When your own family, your own, this person got 10% of their blood, 20%, 25%, and they do you wrong, it kind of, I don't know, the scotch, it kind of burned a little bit different versus man, a friend, or even some random person, right, that you don't even know do you wrong, right? It just stings a little bit, but you still, no matter what the situation is, we, a lot of times what I'm saying is that people use money to actually control you, to actually manipulate you, to actually keep you in a box, even. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really that bad. I'll never forget one of my oldest sisters, her daughter's grandfather. He said, basically, because he was having a situation where he was having a problem dealing with his wife, and back and forth and stuff like that. And he said, no matter what, do not leave yourself in a situation where you don't have a place to live. I'll repeat that. No matter what, do not leave a situation where you don't have a place to live. Always, I don't care if it's a freaking cabin, a freaking condo, whatever. Always have a place to live. And the thing about it is, here's the thing. This was told to me back in 2010 or something like that. Okay, I had a computer shop. He was one of my best clients. I mean, that was 10 years ago, right? I'd say now, man, don't live with no woman. Have her live with you. It's a difference between living with a woman and having her live with you. Now, if you're married, yeah, that could be a little bit complicated, but not really. Not really, I'll tell you. Because see, here's the thing. I don't watch how my grandfather moved, man. My grandfather's not my biological grandfather, but I've seen how he moved. He has everything, as far as, one, he pays all the bills. and pretty much that's his house. He knows it's his house. He he knows he's pretty much the boss, and ain't no question to that. Now, when you have that type of situation in your life and in your house where already it's established, I'm the boss. You have a woman that pretty much understands I'm the boss. You have minimal problems as far as, oh, I'm gonna get kicked out of my house, or I gotta sleep on the couch. I ain't never seen. Okay, in my 40 years of existence, I ain't never seen. Let's just say 35, because most of the time you don't get your consciousness until about 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, 3. I ain't never seen my grandfather sleep on no couch. Okay. I've never seen my grandfather have to go get a hotel room. Okay. Now, I mean, if I had $1 for every time I heard somebody else have to get a hotel room, have to go sleep outside their house or whatever, sleep on the couch. Even myself, I put $1 in that. You know what I'm saying? I would have a lot of money in my bank account, because I've heard that story. I mean, many times. And the reason why is because he owned his house. He paid for his house. He paid for everything. He paid for his business. The woman that he dealt with, which is my grandmother, okay, which is my blood grandmother, she knew that. She knew the rules of, because love and war is very similar. It's a thin line between love and hate. Well, I say it's a thin line between love and war. She knew the rules of engagement. She knew this man, he has this to bring to the table. I mean, this whole freaking high value and, get with a high value men, I'll be laughing because I freaking seen it. It's the story of my grandparents. Young woman, no chill, no, actually she had 5 children actually. Okay. Very gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. Okay. Works, widow, works for my grandfather, which was her manager at the time. They decided to get married. I mean, after dipping and dabbing, of course. And the rest is history. I mean, the thing is that what is the scenario on that? Okay, obviously my grandfather knew this woman needed him, and my grandmother knew that she needed this man. Now, some would say, the argument would say with women that don't want to relinquish power and all of that type of stuff, is that that's why you should go get a weak woman and all that other stuff. Well, this is my thing. Okay, I have no problem, and a lot of men don't have a problem when it comes to relationships. And I know I'm all over the place, but I'm going the direction of the conversation that I'm talking about. But a lot of women, when it comes to actually class and money, obviously men don't have a problem getting a woman that does not make that much money. A man could be on upper class, making over 120K a year plus. He can get a woman working in Starbucks if she look good, treats him good, has some good rapport about herself. He can pretty much he has no problems picking her up after work, going to whatever they want to do together, right? Women typically don't. That's not how women roll. Okay. And you can research this. This goes into relationships, sociology, just basically how women are versus men. Women, they don't tend to get a guy that is on a lower tier. Women don't do that. And I have to say, I'm a cold case files guy, and I remember old news stories, and I have to say that a lot of times, not a lot of times, but when women do that, it's a lot of times kind of opening up their own detriment because, like, for example, I mentioned a couple cases in Chicago where a woman had a secret relationship with people would say a pookie. They had a secret relationship with a pookie, a guy I knew that was in the computer field. His sister had a relationship with a guy, and you know, pretty much she was a higher class woman. Was in real estate, drove a nice luxury car. She got with a guy on a lower class guy. But see, here's the thing with that. It's a difference between somebody on a lower crust or a lower class that has a history of non-violence. I mean, I shouldn't be laughing at this. This is actually not funny. But it's a difference between violent men versus men that are not violent, or even men that need you versus men that don't need you. Like, for example, even when I was like down and out, at the brokest of the brokest, at the poorest of the poorest, because I'm definitely gonna, like, in my broke stories, I'm gonna give a story when I get brave enough of when I was the brokest of like all time, like the brokest I've ever been. But the thing is that even in my brokest moment, I never been delusional to understanding where I am and what I'm capable of. And that's why, that's one of the secrets why I call myself, the comeback king, because I've come back from many times where I've been on a lower situation financially and came back. But you got men and actually, like, you're the come up. You was the come up that they were actually waiting for the their entire life. Like they went they they spent hours and weeks and months and years, decades, going to bars and clubs looking for you. You were the woman that they was hoping for to come up with, like, in their dreams, like, and they actually found you, which was the woman that was gonna make sure that they had the nicest car that they have, the money in the bank account, and everything that comes from whatever for money. You were that person. You didn't even know it. You like, damn, I mean, Jimmy, man, the sex is good, girl, and man, he rocked my world. Jimmy, just like you like him rocking your world, he like you rocking his bank account. He likes, laying up with you, because basically where I'm going is, you got violent homosexuals. Like, you got dudes that, they getting with you because you're on, you came up already, and you even, came up real good. Because one of the news stories that I'm reminded of, it's only happened 2 years ago. It was a pharmacy resident. She was basically going to school to be a doctor and taking her residency. You could look it up. It happened in Mercy Hospital. She was dating a guy that was basically a fuck up. Okay. He was a broke fuck up, and he failed the fireman's training or boot camp or whatever, and he just was a loser, right? Well, he probably was rocking her world and making her feel good. And basically, she called it off. She actually was about to marry this guy. She called it off. And this is why having these little relationships and stuff like that, where you don't get the guy vetted, because a long time ago, not even a long time ago, your father, your brother, your uncle, right, should be utilized as a person to vet a potential male suitor. But a lot of women, they don't utilize this, because a lot of women nowadays, they hate men secretly. They don't want to admit it, but they hate men. They have a deep disdain for men. Okay. A lot of it is being pushed by individuals, that speak this venom, right? And unfortunately, these young girls get it, and they even get it from their mom. They get it from their sisters, their aunts, and stuff like that. So, or they don't have interactions. Their mother is scared of men. They don't have men around, and have kind of like fear of men, and distrust of men and shit like that. So, even if a young girl has a father available, she doesn't utilize that father. And what I mean by utilize is, a lot of if you hear a lot of older women, a lot of younger women write off older women, what they say, and what you'll hear from the older women that has had probably father issues, what they'll say is, it didn't hit me when I was younger how valuable my father was until I got older. And what they meant by that is, all of the advice or the things that their father told them they should do, they meant well when they told them, and their daughter did not listen to them. And then they got older, and they dealt with all of this trauma from some dude that was basically, the father didn't vet, right? And then it's like, by the time that happens, you're 39 or 40, 45. Let's just say 45. Your eggs are almost fried hard, to a crisp, and you got either no children, or maybe one or two children by a guy you really don't like or don't get along with, because he probably used to beat your ass because you talk too much shit, you like to fight, and you just like to wear a lot of pants and be the man of the house when you're a woman. And I will laugh at that. That shit is hilarious. Like, I be joking on social media, and I don't be. I'm like, today is buy a woman a dress that wear pants day. buy a woman that wears pants every day a dress day. And I wasn't bullshitting. Like, literally, I mean, women have very hardcore egos, and literally, that was a point where a chick could have went in my inbox, and I would have bought her a dress that day. I don't even have the money. I would have bought her a dress that day, man, because she took me on my offer, because it was national, basically buy a dress for a woman that wear pants every day, day. and that's literally, man, I mean, I'll be honest, like, I'm not really a skit guy, but I got some pretty good ideas. Like, I think that a good skit comes to mind is a guy with have a little one of those little things where they hold the dresses, the little zip where they hold these dresses up, and then just hand out dresses to women that wear pants. And they, they might have seen, what I'm saying, just, the most hardcore chick that wears pants and shit like that. Just here goes a dress, and just see that interaction. I mean, it really can't be that bad, because like it'll be a nice dress, and then he's handing her a dress, and just to see the look. Because see, the thing is that, I get it. I gotta be my own woman, because of, I don't necessarily have a woman. I gotta wash my clothes and do things that traditionally are, done by a woman, right? I get it, but I mean, at the end of the day, you ain't gonna see me wearing no goddamn dress. The best you gonna see me, because my great grandfather was Scottish. You might see the broke jeans put on the kilt. That's the best you gonna see me motherfucking put on. That's the closest you gonna see me. But a fucking full-fledged dress, I'll never. If you see me putting on a dress, man, somebody got a gun in my back, and I'm just basically getting taken advantage of. Either this dude is gonna die, or I have to get out the situation the best way I can. But the thing is that, yeah, I mean, roles and everything like that, is definitely, I probably lost about 3 or 4 or 5 feminists in that in that little rant. But the thing is that yeah, a lot of times, women, they don't utilize their fathers, their brothers, their uncles, and they get involved with broke men that need women, and they need it to the point where, yeah, if situation goes sour, you might have met somebody who's already suicidal, and you didn't know it, and then you break off the situation. They knew they would have a fabulous life, because you got to think about it. This loser that was the fiance of this doctor. Doctors make a substantial amount of money. They basically, out of med school, after their residency, they go right above this upper class chart. And then you got somebody that's on the lowest of this chart, which is poor, and you marry a poor person. Okay. And you just, a lot of times women, they overlook things because they're sexually satisfied. A guy can, sexually satisfy her, and just do basic stuff or whatever. But I mean, not a lot of women fall for that, but you'll be surprised how many does. And that could be very dangerous, when you dealing with a guy that basically is also violent, and is a homosexual, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I had moments where I had to, it was rocky, but it's a difference between, the thing about it with me, I was just upset. I was cussing. When I got told to leave, I was cussing, but I ain't do nothing but go right to the back of my store. I wouldn't know. I don't think of myself truly as no true homosexual. You know what I'm saying? But I was in a situation like that. But I just went to the back of my store. It wasn't like I didn't have another place to go. I went right back to my store, and then I just knocked back on my mother's door. Hey, no hard feelings. Okay, yeah, no hard feelings, son. Come back on in. But the thing is that, a lot of things is based off of not having the right financial plan and discipline. I laugh now, but these things are, very much part of the thing with men and women. And even you gotta imagine, there's women that do the same thing, that kill their significant other because they're about to divorce. They're in between the divorce, or things get cut off. Because I'm reminded that, yeah, I can't really, it's kind of a risk dealing with women that are poor, right? You know, and definitely just even poor and subprime that don't want to work on themselves. It's a very much a risk. It's very much a risk because yeah, you're a come up in the back. What they don't have to tell you that, they'll never tell you that, but you're a come up. And if you know, you're not you literally a come up. Like in this true sense of, you could, you know, some words have dual meanings. Well, in that case, you definitely are a come up in two ways. In you two ways, you're a come up, right? And it's like, you know, yeah, you break things off, and then, you know, the situations can get violent, right? Because you gotta really understand how to vet women, you know, and women have to understand that they might not, you know, some women are very good at vetting women. I mean, vetting men. Well, you know, that's a whole nother story, but that's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, some women need a male's advice, and a lot of times they don't understand the value of a man until it's too late. Until it's too late. You know, but you know, when it comes down to things, women most of the time do not deal with poor men. They tend to deal with men that are on their same financial class, or they might deal with someone that is a little rocky, but right, you know, not poor, somebody that's in the middle. Like, say if a woman is on the upper class, she might deal with somebody that's like, you know, probably making 80,000, 75,000 a year, and she makes 120. She'll most likely deal with that. But then you got some women that sneak around and go get, you know, because one thing about somebody that is, you know, don't have a lot of money, they got a lot of time, and that's a lot of time to get it on. You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody that's, you know, constantly working, they don't really have that much time. You know, tend to not, right? So the thing is that, yeah, I mean, most cases, women tend to uh date and marry men that have more money than they have, and or even like kind of like even close. So when it comes to the dynamic of, you know, relationships and stuff like that, you know, a lot of times women use their leverage. Women are very good at hustling. They women are very, very good at hustling whatever they have. You you know, even things that they don't have, they're good at hustling, right? So when it comes to a lot of times men, you know, why, you know, a lot of guys go sleep on the couch and stuff like that. You know, a lot of men just don't set the rules of engagement properly. They don't screen, and they don't set the rules of engagement, because a lot of times women that, like, for example, myself, women of all, you know, classes, they can feel my energy. They, whatever, whether I'm at work or whether I'm outside of work, they can feel my energy. Women can read men very well a lot of times. And what they read by me is that I'm a typical, you know, no nonsense type of dude. So, you know, they stay clear of me, because a lot of times, the women that, you know, basically most common women now, they want a guy that, because a lot of times women, they want a guy that they can control. Because if a lot of times with women, they use women are taught their nest. They're taught their nest, right? How to their nest is valuable, their house is valuable. And a lot of times they use that to really to their own detriment, but they hustle their house. Literally, like, you got women that basically they will hustle the fact that they have a house so they can get a homosexual. You know, they will use the fact that, they got a money and some in a house, and cook a warm meal to get some guy that basically is on a lower tier than them, because they're easily able to be controlled. A lot of it, this is the dark side of money. Men are a lot of times, when even you get with the higher, tier woman, in most cases she's trying to control you. You know what I'm saying? She's literally trying to control you to a point where, what I'm saying, you need her, and you continue to need her, and she reminds you of that every single day. And that's why it's like, this whole book, I don't know, I gotta figure out where that passage is, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't even matter if it's even in the Bible, but they say you should get with somebody that's equally yoked, but a lot of times that whole thing is that, damn, I mean, it's probably even a better situation when you get a woman that actually really needs you. I don't know. I mean, that whole thing is that's questionable. You got pros and cons to that too. But when it comes to that type of thing, using your, living with a woman or living with your family, and they're using the fact that they have a house over your head, it can be very much, a hard time to deal with. And basically having some type of plan to get out of that, having some money, like, you literally, so I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the most effective things about using my book right here to the right, the Millionaire Savings Plan, in secret, in that situation, you want to have this book and then don't even have it around. If you bought this book and you going through those situations that I mentioned, you want to put this book somewhere where they don't even know where it is, because this is literally what's going on. Soul Shader, my favorite YouTuber, you want to put this book, man, like a secret freaking cubby hole or something, because you got women that actually, they plot on the fact that you gonna leave them. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been in a situation where, a woman, she was trying to literally make sure I didn't have no money, because more money meant I was probably gonna leave her. And she, that was closer to me leaving her, right? So she would be asking for stuff. You got women that play games, man. It ain't nothing but out of a book or whatever. It's just advice or whatever. They'll ask you for things and ask you for whatever, so you can be closer to broke, to be zero. So you can be closer to zero, so you ultimately will not have any money. Literally. Because your money is how you're gonna possibly better yourself, and then their fear is, because they know a lot of times most women like this, they know they're not worth that much of a damn. They'll literally, if you have more money, that's closer to you being financially independent from them. So the thing about it is, this is the dark side of being broke. You not having the money to actually get your own place to live and get away from someone, because what I'm talking about is financial abuse. Okay, at the end of the two words to just drill down on what I'm talking about is financial abuse. People financially abuse people. It's a sick world, man. Ain't it lovely? Like, I mean, literally, people use money to financially abuse people every day. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When you research, like, actually who has money and all of that. And that's why I always talk about the millionaire next door. The millionaire next door is it talks to you about who are these millionaires and billionaires. What do they drive? How do they dress normally? Who are they married to? What ethnicities are these people? That's the research that you really need to have when you try. Like me, I'm definitely on that path, and it's like if I'm on that path, I need to know who got money. That's why when I research who got money and who got the money, that was a life-changing moment for me, because when I walk out that door, I know who got the money. You know what I'm saying? When I go get in my car and I drive and I go to work, I know who got the money. I know what their religion is. I know where they, where they spring from. I know who has the money, and when I know who has the money, yeah, I play the game. I know how to play the game, though, because I know who got the money. Knowing who got the money does help when you're trying to get money. And that's where the millionaire next door comes in. But I have to say, on my old blog, I broke down who actually has the money, because you got to be careful about what the statistics and all of that type of stuff. I'll just tell you, white Jews have most of the money in this country. Okay, so down below that is basically white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, WASP. Okay. And then you got Russians or Eastern Europeans. Okay. But I mean, that aside, the thing is that saving, in those situations, it's very wise to be kind of closed lid about things in general, but definitely when you're in a situation where you are trying to overcome a traumatic situation where somebody is financially abusing you. I don't care if you're a woman and your man is doing that, or your man and your wife or your girlfriend is doing it. You probably want to pretty much be closed lid, because literally you're in a situation where you got to secretly save money. That's really what you got to do, because you saving to like pretty much get out of your situation. And I know people be like, oh, you should just do this and do that. You should just get out. I've been getting more into crypto, and I've already started to make some profits in it. Oh yeah, that's definitely what's up, man. I mean, yeah, Dogecoin. I was talking about Dogecoin last year, and I lost money just like an idiot, because what? I didn't put my money in it and I didn't hold it. The story of my life. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's a situation where you have to kind of plan. You got to plan and execute. It's like chess. It's like chess. I play chess. I've been playing chess because unlike this day, I gotta remind myself not to play no chess today, because it's just one of those days and nights. But the thing is that I got a lot of rest and recovery. I had some dental problems, so I had some dental procedures, and that's why my mouth is so like puffy, and my talk is a little kind of choppy. But the thing is that man, a lot of times you gotta be strategic about your moves. You know what I'm saying? And in a situation like that, a millionaire savings plan could literally save your life. You save you in a traumatic situation, because you got to think about it. let's just say you in a situation where somebody is abusing you and financially abusing you. Well, the dark side of being broke in that situation is, yeah, you're gonna need a plan to get, out of the situation. Basically the thing about it is people try to bully you. You know what I'm saying? I literally was in a situation where a woman tried to bully me. Even a woman tried to bully a man. And the thing about it is, what you got to do is, this is why it's a problem, and you don't understand it. The reason why this person, male or female, is bullying you is because you don't have any pieces next to you. Basically, you're trying to deal with somebody solo dolo, and they know it. You got people that actually try to play chess with real life with people. Like they're big and bad with other people around them. Like they'll literally position themselves to have, their family surrounding them, and then you're just trying to deal with them by yourself. Like, oh, I'm just madly in love, and blah blah blah. And that's when you get your family involved, exposed, because a lot of times another thing the bully does is they try to do things in secret and behind, do closed doors and stuff like that. Like once I started videotaping the situation that was going on, and actually, letting other people know this person is pretending that they're all this, nice little princess and stuff when they're around you, then, it went to a situation where, yeah, it's embarrassing. Because one of the things that a bully doesn't like to be is embarrassed. And, you just gotta pretty much, it's a situation where you literally, in most cases, have to get law enforcement involved. You literally have to get police involved in a situation where you call the police, and then a lot of times, man, I put a video on my post on my community tab, and it was a dude that was crazy as hell. I call them people like that. They ain't even hyenas. That's a I call them Tasmanian devils. And this dude literally, the chick broke up with him, and the police showed up, and they were just kind of like, a lot of times police officers they be too calm. A lot of if I had to say, these police officers was kind of junior in their field, but I'm not sure. But man, that dude showed up and he just started shooting. Okay. She was coming to get her stuff and belongings. And it is another thing too. It's situations, man, where you just gotta freaking go. you just gotta go. You can't let this person know where you live, where you at. It's some crazed lunatics out here. And when you dealing with a crazed lunatic, it's a way you gotta deal with it. See, the thing is that a lot of times people can't get advice from a friend or a family member, and that's where it comes, where you gotta reach out to somebody else or whatever. And a lot of people don't, and the thing is that in a situation like that, you just gotta get away. You got some people that got some demons in them, crazy, and you just gotta, the only best situation you gotta deal with them is you gotta get away from them. uh you know Even if you got children involved, you just gotta get away, man. I mean, it gets that bad sometimes. The thing is that, just like I was about to double my money off BitTorrent, and then I'm trying to get Holo. I've never heard of those, but yeah, man, that's definitely cool, man. But the thing is that, you know, when it comes to that situation, that's how it is, man. And a lot of times, here's the deal. This is where men come involved, you know. Um, when you this is why, you know, family members and friends and having alliances is important, you know, because when you get other people involved in the situation, you know what I'm saying, it definitely helps, you know. It definitely helps because you got some lunatics out here, man. And you know, when you get out of that situation and you realize that you know, you know, this person, they not gonna, you know, come around, and it's a little bit different, you know. It's like you get away for about 4 or 5 months, and then maybe they find somebody else or whatever the case may be. It could get that bad, you know. And but you know, having your money in order is definitely one of the caveats. Like, shout out to, you know, Soul Shader, man. You getting your crypto, you finding some other resources. I mean, when it comes down to the come down, man, you gotta look at it like you got people, man, that literally will try to use your financial deficiencies against you, you know, or take advantage of your financial successes. And you know, that's just one of the things that I was going to be talking about, you know. So I'm going to give some tips on, you know, what you should, you know. And a couple of these I already talked about. I actually already talked about, you know. So the thing is that when you trying to figure out what's going on with money, and trying to gain wealth and riches, is research. You know, like I say, who has the money? I already said who's got the money. Okay, you know, the Millionaire Next Door. That's a good book on who are the rich and wealthy. What are, you know, this guy, literally the author of the book, the name escapes me. He went around and actually found, you know, and did research of who has the money. Okay. And what were their daily lives, who were they married to, who, you know, how what kind of car they drove, what neighborhoods they lived in. And one of the things, that not to just give it away, you'd be surprised where these people actually lived, where they actually um sprung from, even, you know, where, what kind of clothes that these people wear. You think most rich people, you know, they have, you know, $250,000 car, $10,000, $20,000 watch. They live in $1 million mansion. That, yeah, that's some do, but you'd be surprised how simple, you know, the lives of some people that are very rich are. Like, I'll never forget when I used to work. I used to work at a chicken factory. Okay, I used to literally work at a chicken factory. Um, I used to work at Coke Foods. Okay. I was trying to. I literally was. This was like, this was a couple years ago. Couple years ago. 2000. Yeah, definitely 2018. I was driving a 2001 Mercury Cougar. No, it wasn't a Mercury Cougar. It was a Mercury Sable. And man, it reeked of oil. I think I paid like $1,100 for it. Um, I was making $12 an hour, and I was like separate. I was just basically working in a factory. Okay, and even working at that company, I wasn't, I was trying to figure out who owned this company, what's the story behind it. And the story behind it was this guy, man, that he worked with his father at the company, and he basically jockey his way to position to be able to, get some funding and buy the company. And this guy, he lived in Chicago. The guy that owned Coke Foods, he lived in Chicago. It's a private company, I believe, and he's a billionaire. Okay, they literally sold chicken for Popeyes. Their little Popeye chicken craze. Well, yeah. I mean, I was in the middle of the Popeye chicken craze. I mean, hell, I was trying. The thing about it is, never be ashamed of what you got to do for a living, as far as in terms of if it's legitimate. You know what I'm saying? If it's legitimate, if you're picking shit off the side of the road and they're paying you $10 an hour, pick that shit on the side of the road. Because when I was working at the chicken factory, making $12 an hour, or I think it was 13, I don't even know. I was still, this book right here wasn't finished, but it was in my head. I was living it. I had money in the bank. I was saving money in that little cheap oil glutton car. I was saving my bread, and I was still doing little IT jobs on the side, but I knew who the company owner was. The company owner was, white guy, billionaire, lived in Chicago, drove the Cadillac, a old beat up Cadillac. I think they said, just regular average dude, wasn't really that fancy. The house he lived in was only like, probably $100 some $1,000. Average guy. And the thing about it is, that's the way he wanted to live. Now, am I fancy dancy? Yes, I'm more of the fancy dancy side of the game. But the thing is that, some people out of the average millionaire, you probably walk right past them. You got people that they dress like a mechanic and they're a millionaire. I'm be honest, that's the best way to be, because your money and your wealth will attract people to rob you and, do all kind of things, extort you, commit acts of violence against you, especially in Chicago, LA, Atlanta, New York, all of the big cities, and in between, you got people that, if they find out you got money, you become a target. So some guys, they, like when I go back to Invisible, how to be invisible, that's on my Patreon. A lot of the videos that you saw before and you haven't seen, it's on Patreon, but the thing is that, yeah, these guys already know how to be invisible, and you wouldn't even know that they're rich, super rich. You see these people, you got people that live in the hood, in the freaking hood, in the ghetto, and they're millionaires. You wouldn't even know. Some of the people know. Maybe an old timer, they might know, but they ain't even telling. They're only telling a select few, But yeah, you got to research where the money is, who has the money. Okay, So another thing is come up with an action plan, because you got the research. Now you go walk out in the world, and it's lights, camera, action. You know what I'm saying? You go make a plan of action. You got the research. Who's got the money? Now you going out there. All right, let me go work for Coke Foods. As funny as it may be, man. Hey, that money, thank God I was, able to save the money I saved. I got a job, man, from I got a job in IT full time. And I got out of that chicken factory and I never looked back. And then I was still trying to work on the side. And then I worked at the chocolate factory. Oh my God, man. When I ever hit a chocolate factory again, which I really don't, man, they done scrubbed the airways of R. Kelly. When I hit a chocolate factory, man, I'm it's gonna be bittersweet. And not just because it's R. Kelly singing it, man, because I worked in the chocolate factory. And that was one of the toughest jobs I've ever done. I mean, my God. Ah, man. But the thing is that I'll do it again tomorrow if I had to, because the plan of action is I need money to save for my plan, for my goals, because my goals is my goals and I have to meet them, you know. And if I have to go scrub shit on the side of the road, I'll do it. If that's what I got to do. A lot of times people have a problem with that. That's one of the a lot of people have problems with that all across the board. You know, a lot of times young people, they don't want to pay their dues to society. A lot of times you got that builds character. You know, doing those meaningful jobs that build character, and you learn things, you learn from people, and you learn the value of your dollar. You learn that, okay, I do need to save some money. I do need to save, you know, save my money is important. Hanging out with Bobby, Ricky, and Mike every day, and having brews and all of this other stuff, and you know, trying to go, you know, do this and this, and I don't have any money. It's important to save my money. You know, it's important to have some type of plan. You know, and the thing is that, you know, you learn that. You know, I could have been a millionaire, probably 1,000 times over at my age. You know, I mean, I could have done so many things different if I just took heed of who said them. You know, people told me go to tax sales and stuff like that years ago. But the problem I have to say, and this is why it comes into why I you know, all of the things I sell and do, I use from I'm my own customer. I'm my first and you know, not only customer, but I'm my first customer, if not nothing else. All of the things I say, I live and I do myself. I really am not. It's very difficult for me. Some people, they're able to do it. If I don't have passion into selling stuff or doing things, I don't do them. I don't sell them. You know, that's the type of person I am. I mean, some people they are able to do that. Kudos to them, but I'm not one of those people. I sell things that I use myself. If I'm not my only and best customer or client, then I don't even sell, or even I'm not really interested in it at the time. But I'll tell you this, the reason why I didn't have to go to tax sales and stuff like that is because I didn't have no money to go to no tax sale. That's why, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, people talking about the dollar versus this and that. Well, the dollar is just a medium. You know, let's just say you're a millionaire right now. Let's say you got $100,000 net worth. Well, you know, my Candyman video where, you know, pretty much I put that on Patreon as well. You should start saving precious metals, which, you know, what, you know, shout out to Robert Kiyosaki, he call that God's money. You should start saving God's money. Platinum, gold, silver, palladium. Okay, you should start saving that. You know, I used to watch when I even after school, man, even in high school, I used to watch DuckTales. Scrooge McDuck, he would go jump into his big pool, his big safe full of, coins. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how that ultimately that uh, you know I'll be curious to be like, man, okay, I know I wasn't the only one watching that, right? But the thing is that was one of the best things, man. That was one of the best advices that I could have watched. Like literally, a big ass freaking room, secretive room full of coins, and you don't nobody knows it's there. Just loaded up full of coins. That's what you should be. I mean, there you go. Don't jump in it because it's what I'm saying. If you watch Family Guy, you already know how that's gonna go. You go jump in a big thing of metal, then your leg broke. But the thing, I mean, I guess you could try. I mean, I guess I don't know, figure it out. Maybe I don't know, put some balls in there or something to cushion your landing. But the thing is that yeah, I mean, you should be. That's what you should be doing at that point. That's because um because I hear the whole you shouldn't save money rhetoric, and it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. The dollar is fiat and blah 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 blah, but it's still a medium. It's still a medium what people get paid for, and I got to think to myself, when it comes to I don't know if you still here, Soul Shader. I mean, should I try to figure out how to get paid in Bitcoin? I mean, with Bitcoin being the NFL player, he got paid in Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? He's they said he was like one of the highest paid NFL players. That's pretty cool. That's a plan of action, right? If I get paid in Bitcoin, uh or it would be fragmented because I definitely don't get paid. Oh, I wish I can get 32. What is it? 60,000. What is Bitcoin? Let's see what Bitcoin is right now. Bitcoin 59,000 dollar. I mean $59,000 right now. That'd be nice. I love the time when I can make $59,000 a week or $59,000 a day. But yeah, he got paid in Bitcoin and it's paying off for him. He's definitely getting paid in Bitcoin. BTC is about to hit 60K. Hurry and buy a few grand of it. That's definitely an action plan. It's definitely an action plan if you're able to risk it. If you're able to risk it. I mean, you're a young Soul Shader. You could take risks. You could take more risks than a person that is double. I'm two Soul Shaders in one. My age, as far as my age, right? So I mean, I can take minimal risk. And the thing is that ultimately is some type of action you're gonna have to take. Whether it be you're trying to get a certain career, you're trying to learn a new skill. This is one things are kind of opening back up, but don't forget, man, to try to educate yourself. I just finished a business management course, and it was a lot of good information in that business management course that is going to help me in my businesses. I'm going to take another course, and I'm going to finish up my full stack development course, hopefully get some time together and finish that up. so I can basically um, learn skills to make more money, to be more marketable. Invest in yourself. Don't ever not think that you're, the best investment. You are definitely the best investment. So when you invest in yourself, you can pretty much never go wrong in that situation if you really think about it. But definitely a plan of action. How you gonna make some money, where you gonna make some money, how many jobs you're gonna have. Like, um, I recommend strongly to have a job and then a side business or a side hustle. Okay, a side business would be you making soaps, or making incense, or uh, you know, anything that you're dealing with where you can go to the flea market and set up a table and start selling. That's a side business. Okay. Now, yeah, because I'm young, man. I look young. I look like I'm 28. Yeah, you know. But the thing is that that's a side business. A side hustle would be driving Uber, Lyft, or I don't know, cutting grass. Even you could say cutting grass is a side business. But just doing DoorDash or something, like I still get the little updates about DoorDash. I haven't really been doing it because I've been having some car issues, and I'm not trying to do no DoorDash right now. But I'm working on getting my other car, so I'm getting another car again. So I gotta work on that. So when I get that work done and see how that is, I'll be able to leverage that situation. You know what I'm saying? But having a side hustle, it's more money. It's a plan of action. I mean, women. To be honest with you, it's two people. It's two people that I'll be like, damn, how's you broke? You know, Women, period, women, and then white dudes or even white people. I'd be like, how are you broke? I'd be like, and then don't get me wrong. I know people be like, frustrated about that. White people really be frustrated about that, almost to the detriment of committing suicide. Don't get me wrong. Don't blow your brains out because you got broke. But I just be like, I'll be like, wow. But it happens. It's a lot of white people is broke, man. You know, but with women, in so many ways that women can make money, whether it be being a child care attendant, being having your own little private daycare, dealing with other people's children and dealing with other people. Uh, Women tend to be better at like housekeeping. Like, I'm gonna be in the housekeeping business. It's one of my seed startups. Women tend to be more acceptable towards housekeeping, even being a salesman, because women are more warm with sales, because women tend to be more trusting to others, right? So they're the best salesman you could have, because a lot of times when you have a store, a lot of people come because it's a nice woman behind the counter. I mean, this my grandfather. You know, he made us a ton of money having my grandmother behind the register. So the thing is that, yeah, I mean, it's just having a plan of action. And the third thing is automate. This is if you done spent you just spent an hour 30 minutes waiting. This is what you was waiting for. This is what you was waiting for. This is what I've never really said. I kind of said it, maybe I said it, but I never said it. This is the creme de la creme, the secret of all secrets, but ain't even a secret. Automate. Have your checking, your savings accounts, have them all automated. Literally, you get paid. As soon as you get paid, they all just sprout to different accounts. You already have them saved. You set up your savings account, taking $100, $200, $300, whatever you automate it. You're not even thinking about it. You like going to sleep. You wake up and then your check hit and then it automatically went to your account. I'm be honest with you. I was kind of like, you have moments in life that you have your head stuck up your ass. I wasn't automating. And I'm like, dude, get your head stuck up out your ass. Start automating again. And when I started automating again, things got a lot better, and it's getting a lot better because it's like the thing is that you when you start getting close to check and all of that shit, it's because you don't have, like I said in the last dark side of being broke, you don't have the money, to basically save. That's one. But when you do have money that's saved to be able to be saved, and you're paying your debts, you're paying your current bills, you got to be able to automate those savings. A lot of times people don't have the savings because they're so over leveraged. They don't even have the money to save. They rarely even have change, to save. But when you start automating $100, $200, $300, whatever you can start saving in another account, next thing you know, after about a month or two, you're no longer check to check. You literally position yourself with the savings plan to be like, basically automate your actual savings plan. And then it's a situation where it's like, well, I'm okay over here. I can start saving a little bit more. And then when you got a nice little chunk, and then your side hustles, your businesses are doing well, your job is doing well. If you're still working, you can save more. You can set it up where, you just working off your job, your side business money, your side hustle money. You don't even touch that. You just leave that to the side, and then you continue to save, and then you go from there. This is the creme de la creme. Most women is too lazy to do all of that work, though. I think many of them just started an OF account. What is OF account? Because it's easy. OF. OnlyFans account. This consensus that I'm getting from OnlyFans is that, and then the dude that owns that is Eastern European billionaire that owns OnlyFans. But the consensus that I'm getting from the OnlyFans situation is that it's saturated. People, grandma, You got it's a chick on there. I think they said she was like in her 50s and she was making $50,000 a month. She was like her kids went to Catholic school. Okay, I don't know, 41 or 51, I don't know, something like that. She was basically a chick that hit the wall and she's making $50,000 a month on OnlyFans. Okay, so you got stuff like that. You got women that actually know how to make money on OnlyFans, and then you got a lot of that are not making money. So, you know, I mean, it's saturated. So when saturation comes, it's a supply and demand. It's no different. OnlyFans is not it's not indifferent of economics, which is supply and demand. It's so much supply, so it's oversaturated. In the demand is only for the most hottest women or whatever, and that's that. That's that. And it's like, then you have here's another thing. Things are opening up. I mean, I've been playing basketball damn near every day after work, and I've been looking great, feeling great. And the thing is that when it comes down to things, it's like things will probably never get back to normal. I don't know if things will get back to normal, but the thing is that basically they are coming slowly to where things were before, where it's like you could play back. Like where I go normally, to the gym that they opened the basketball courts up. That was a big deal. They haven't opened the jacuzzi back up though. You know what I'm saying? Like they haven't opened that back up, but they opened the pool back up. Why they don't open the jacuzzi is weird to me. But yeah, they opened basketball courts up. So I got an hour or two I could play basketball or whatever, a couple hours or whatever. And I'm gonna be honest, that's like really how I like going to the gym. I really don't like, doing a lot of things other than just playing basketball, get my cardio in, get my workout in, get my steps in, and that's open back up. You got a lot of other activities that are opened up. So that's the less time to think about pussy. Like, I mean, I'm not thinking about women when I'm playing basketball. I'm trying to think about how I can hit the jumper, play dribble, whatever, pass and shoot. Like I'm not, thinking about OnlyFans, or I'm not scrolling on Instagram looking at thirst traps of chicks that have OnlyFans, because I'm partaking in working out and whatnot, and playing sports. So it's less eyeballs, less money, so when it comes down to what you said before, as far as women are lazy, the thing is that yeah, I'm seeing a lot of laziness. The consensus on that is, yeah, most people I would say are lazy nowadays. It's very difficult a lot of times for people to get out of that. And shoot, it's like, yeah, man, you got to think about it. You got to kind of like think about what the life of a woman, nowadays, a modern woman. Women today, they can have as many men as they want. They don't have the problem that men have. Men have a problem of getting women, right? Well, women don't have a problem of getting men. Women nowadays don't have a problem of getting men. What they have a problem with is they want men that they want, and they have the problem of getting those men. They want men like myself, but probably better. And they can't get those men the way they want them. They can only get the guys that is less desirable to them. And a lot of them just don't even get them. They just be like, you know what, fuck it. I'll just be like a Japanese animaniac or whatever, and just like you know, all that this social hierarchy that's in Japan, they're trying to bring that over to the United States and all over the world and shit like that. And this very, it's very tripped out. But the women that are having sex with men, they're getting glue globs of penis, right? And they're getting cum drunk to the point where, yeah, lazy as hell. You know, when you got your legs up, and then, you know, you on your knees and all of that, and you getting cummed off in, you know, and getting, you know, ample supply of penis, that tends to make you lazy. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You know, it just the only thing with that is that the fallback of that is, you know, I've already talked about the fallback of that. That's on my channel. But yeah, it's pretty much, it goes back to cars and being used up, you know. But yeah, man, I'm gonna have to go back to the jail, to the office, and you know, I'll definitely, it'll be some more dark sides if I can think of it. But definitely check out the Millionaire Savings Plan, and you know, definitely you know, work on, you know, overcoming all of your obstacles.